What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of StewTube. It is August the 25th. Sorry, I know I've been away for a while, but I actually ended up going camping this weekend and I was totally out of cell reception and everything. I wasn't even watching the charts all weekend because I couldn't. So, yeah, that's where I've been. I haven't quit my channel or anything like that, so thanks for bearing with me. I just want to go over a few things that I am seeing in the Bitcoin chart. You guys know that if I'm on the daily chart here, I'll actually go into the 4 hour because that's what I had been pointing out this ascending triangle out on. You guys know that we had this breakout and I was actually looking at things quite bullishly in this area, and even when we got this pullback, I had mentioned that I took some profits up here, guys, but then when we dropped down, I was actually expecting a strong support flip at that general area, and I actually ended up adding to my position, well, adding back in after I took most of my profits out. So I actually ended up taking a loss on that. I ended up getting stopped out when I just came crashing down and getting candle body closes below that potential support flip. I was no longer confident in my position, so I wanted to minimize the risk, and obviously it was a good call. But now one thing that is a bit concerning for the midterm here is, look, we ended up getting our fake out to the upside. And then we ended up breaking down below the triangle and even getting a resist flip. You can see here that we started going for a bit of a retest of the bottom of the triangle, and we are actually closing candles below as well as retesting and getting rejected. As well, if we were to make a horizontal line down here, you can see that we are now getting candle body closes below there. If we were to start getting green candles closing above this line again, I would be potentially looking at sniping a bit of a long, even if it is very short term. For now, what I'm more interested in would be some sort of a downtrend line like so, and probably forming some sort of a wedge if I were to start connecting some of these lines like this. Maybe we get almost a bit of a parallel channel, but it does look like it could be a little bit of a falling wedge between these red lines. So we'll have to see what happens. But for now, things aren't looking super bullish for the short term, but you guys know that my macro perspective is still very bullish. If I go to the daily chart here, I'll get rid of this line that I drew. The main support flip that I would be looking for would be this purple horizontal resistance that would become support, and that's at around 10,500. But as well, guys, this upward sloping white line that I have made here, I would be interested to see some more bounce points along that line, get some sort of a double bottom along here. I think would be a very healthy setup for a continuation to the upside. That being said, guys, if we end up getting below and retesting this white line as resistance, I think it would be very realistic to think that we would end up hitting this downward sloping white line, which you guys know, if I go to my weekly chart, is that massive fucking triangle that I've been pointing out. And speaking of that, guys, you know that a lot of my patterns I do after I get our third touch point. So here we had our first touch point, second touch point, third touch point, and then our breakout. Generally, when I am playing smaller time frames, I like to wait for a pullback and get a retest of that support flip before moving to the upside. That would also end up lining up fairly good with this line of support here, retesting that zone. So I'd be really interested to see that. I wasn't totally confident we'd get that pullback, because this is such a large time frame pattern that has broke out. A lot of times they can just take the fuck off because FOMO could really kick in on such a pattern. But to me, it wouldn't be unhealthy at all if we were to just retest this area here at around 9,000, which I would actually be even more bullish probably if we end up getting that proper support flip, because that's just a much healthier market. That being said, losing this 10.5k region wouldn't be the best, just because that was such a strong ceiling for a while that I would hate to see that go. But again, as long as we bounced off this white line fairly quickly, I don't see anything wrong with that. Now what I want to point out is just this red box here. I know I have had this drawn out on some of my charts in the past. I have taken it off just for a little more clarity on other things I've been pointing out, but putting that back on is a bit of a kill zone kind of between, or the bottom of these wicks to the bottom of this wick. You can see it's being respected quite a bit, including basically the candle bodies on this most recent pump, and you can see here that we even got a wick into it. But again, just treating it as a kill zone, so we're still getting rejected on that red box, so that's something to watch for right now. Will we break it in the next pump? It's hard to say. We might end up forming some sort of ascending triangle before we can get the pressure to break above that. But we're going to have to see how that plays out. This is all on these macro time frames, daily, weekly. These patterns will take a long time to play out. I was expecting this bull flag here to play out to that 15,000 target relatively quick, but now that we've actually had a weekly rejection candle and even closing red, I don't know how much faith I have in this measured move of the pole playing out relatively quickly. I think it's going to be a little bit longer of a move. Again, overall, I am still quite bullish, just there might be a little bit of a pullback here. Well, obviously we already have had a decent sized pullback, but I wouldn't be surprised to see even further downside. Again, I will be watching some sort of a downwards trend line like so. I'll make it purple, and I'll even set an alert on it. And you guys, that's what I do quite often when I do my charting, is when I map out a line that I think is going to be quite significant, I like to add alerts, just so that I can keep my eye on things, even if I'm not entering a trade quite yet. That's a zone of interest, and I want to see how the lines are respected and that sort of thing. So that's just kind of a little bit of insight of what I'm doing. But yeah, if looking for a bullish play, I'd be looking for, first, I would love a third touch point of this line, and then get some sort of a break / double bottom before we end up testing further to the upside. But obviously it'll take a little while to play out, and if that doesn't happen, who knows, maybe we'll get a bit of a fake out here and then start closing candles back in here, which may be a signal that we should short, and maybe start looking at that 10.5 target. Of course, guys, none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research. I'm not a professional. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm none of that. I'm just showing you what I'm looking at in the charts and how I'm intending to play this market, and just potential play setups. Always do your own research before you put your money on the line, please. That being said, guys, if you appreciate this content, if you could give me a thumbs up, give me a comment, subscribe. Let me know what you like about the channel, what you don't like, whether you agree with things, disagree with things I'm saying. Let me have it. Let's just hear your thoughts and how I can improve the channel, because this channel is fairly new and I am always looking for recommendations of how I can improve. So by all means, guys, leave me a comment and let me know what you think on that. That being said, guys, I don't really have too much that I wanted to talk to you about today. Really, I just wanted to touch base because I know I haven't been on in almost a week because I've been out of town and busy and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to drop a line on you guys and just show you what I'm looking at. So with that being said, guys, until the next one, stay safe out there. Peace.